Yeah. Grown up shit. Kids not allowed in the living room type shit.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Well, we do know coming out of the elections last year, and this is not just within the United States, not just within Black America, but around the world, there are more men trending to the right, particularly young men. Interestingly enough, you would think it would be older men, but no. Donald Trump's big gains came from men under 50. So we're seeing this trend around the world. Now, to be fair, women are trending more toward the left, to be fair. But yeah, men are definitely trending more toward the right. And we're seeing that here in the United States. Black men overall aren't trending toward the right, but a substantial minority, somewhere between 20 and 25% did. I think that, like I said before, I don't see any serious challengers on the left in the midterms coming up next year. I just don't see it. I just don't. Not anybody serious. You have a lot of, carnival barker types,
Oh, damn.
Resistant to change. You only want to do one thing in one way. It's not going to work.
Across 3 electrifying days, unite with visionaries to master cutting-edge skills, build game-changing networks, and harness the wisdom of the Black male experience.
Welcome back, folks, to the White News Network. I'm your host, Tom Blandley, and tonight a white woman is leaving her husband after trying a YN. HOA President Skylar White told WNN she is filing for divorce because, quote unquote, after trying a YN, you never go back. Her husband, Kevin White, owner of Proud Boys Country Club, says he is devastated by the news and that it is, quote unquote, total malarkey. The divorce hearing is set for July 13th at Cornbread District Family Court. If Mrs. White wins, she will be entitled to half of his shit that she never worked for. Next up, rock star Roger Bang-Her has already impregnated 3 women on his Fuckfest tour. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Want to do some totally unnecessary shit like mountain jump with a fly suit on? Then head over to whitepeopleshit.com.
Whitepeopleshit.com.
Swim with sharks. It's a blast. Make memories that last.
Whitepeopleshit.com.
Donations. 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 Gifts. 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 More gifts. More gifts.
Oh, hell no! I thought this was a shortcut!
Welcome back to the Black News Network. Tonight's story, a father of 2 returned home from the grocery store today to discover another man at his baby mama crib. Here's Tyrone with more.
Yo, what's up, Marcus? I'm here outside the crib where that baby mama stay, and apparently that ain't her damn car.
On Saturday morning, Jaquavian Snickerdoodle left to get some milk. He said he was shocked when he come home 10 years later and find another man in that house.
Ain't no damn way. That's my Uncle Reggie's car.
Well, ain't that some shit? Up next on BNN, the semi-annual YN Festival is only a few days away, and we asked the block if they ready to turn up.
And y'all be wondering what they doing over there. Well, we found out, and we gonna tell you about it after the break.
In a world where ops lurk, baby daddies sneak, and your cousin might rob you if he off them perks, you can't trust the streets, but you can trust Op Alert.
Welcome aboard the Hellcat Cruiser. Enjoy spades, Henny happy hour, ice cream socials, and even morning church service.
Girl, please, you know he was looking at me all night. Honey, the only thing he was looking at was the exit.
Welcome back to the Black News Network. This is a developing story tonight. The mayor's wife is getting a train ran on her by some local YNs. Gotta love spring break.
Girl, you're not gonna believe this. I'm driving through the casino right now. They got me messed up. A curve appeared out of nowhere, not my fault. Damn right I am. Girl, this car don't work right. Why are y'all in the way? Damn! Move your big back ass out my way.
Class, merging is a vibe, not a rule. If you hesitate, you educate. Don't do that. See? They just congratulated me. Next week, how to park using hope.
I told you to move. They need to fix these roads. Girl, the signal here is bad.
Donations. 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 Donations.
Conscious decision. There was a conscious decision before there was even the Articles of Confederation to establish this nation even made. There's daughters of the trade. They've already made their decisions as far as what their best interest is, over and over and over, and time again. You know, so it is something to really consider as far as, you know, this is somebody who's driven by hedonism, okay, and nihilism. I want you all to really take a look at this. I'm not no Bible thumper. I'm really not. I mean, even if you look at this for reference, okay, I want you all to look at the 7 deadly sins, right? That's right out of their playbook. Lust, anger, right? Greed, envy, all those different things. As long as you're able to kind of navigate through all that, you ain't got to deal with anything that Keisha has to offer whatsoever. Whatsoever, period, point blank. The other thing I want you all to look at is Isaiah 3:16 through 26. Okay, right? This will outline exactly who we're dealing with today. Straight like that, right? Now, like I said, I'm not preaching. I'm really not. But I want you all to at least look at it for reference and tell me that I'm wrong.
I said this before, and your friends may not mean it, but single women keep women single. And if you know you want a family, children, and a husband, you can have that and the things you say you want, but you have to prioritize it, because if you don't focus on what it is you want downstream, that time will pass. I know plenty of women who really want to be wives and have children, but now their options are limited because were not given the information that they needed to do something about it. These kind of conversations weren't around even 3 years ago.
Oh, baby. Yeah. Grown up shit. Kids not allowed in the living room type shit.
Yo, mic check, mic check, mic check. We in the building. Obsidian, let me get a sound check.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Oh, you sound great. Saul, let me get a sound check. Saul?
It's much greater for her, and you are going to...
Saul? Hey, Saul, you good? Saul might be having some technical difficulties for a second. Either way, he said this bump music. What up to the chat? Irvin Reed, Lord of Brooklyn, Noob Glory. No news. Irvin Reed with the super chat. We'll get to that in a minute. Pookie and Ray show. Saul, you there?
Mic check.
There you go. Let me get a mic check on you again. Let me see what you sound like.
Mic check. You hear me?
Yeah, you sound good. All right, we in the building. Cool. I got a poll in the chat. We're gonna pin the conclave to the top of the chat. All right, let's go. Obsidian, pleasure to have you once again.
Thank you. Glad to be here. What's going on, Saul?
Hey, salute. How you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Doing great. How you feeling?
Real good. Enjoying this California sunshine here.
That's
all right. All right, bet. All right, Obsidian. Let's get an opening statement from you for the chat and the replay gang before we get started.
Well, I didn't get a chance to watch the Trump tape, so this is going to be the first time I've seen it, or at least as much as we can get in between now and 1 o'clock. But yeah, man, I'm glad to be here. Thank everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm really glad to be a part of the Machismo TV crew to weigh in every week on all things varied and sundry. I really appreciate it.
Oh, fantastic. So you got to open a statement before I get started with the interview?
As we continue to host our illustrious Mumia Obsidian Ali week to week for really exclusive political analysis, you all will continue to see how policy directly affects you, and in a very intellectual sort of style. So thanks for dropping by.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for so much, man. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, excellent. All right, guys, I just pinned the conclave to the top of the chat, and that's the link. Share it with anybody. Conclave is the place to be, from personal experience. So let's knock this super chat out the way. Over Reed with the $5 super chat. He says, one thing a Saiyan always keeps, his pride. Make news great again. Hell yeah. Hashtag no place for moonshine. Hashtag F all you hoes.
Man, fuck all you hoes. Fuck you and your mammy and your granny too. Fuck all you hoes. I'm sick of this shit. Fuck all you hoes. Don't give a damn, bitch, what you wanna do. Fuck all you hoes.
All right, guys, and I'm going to drop Obsidian's Cash App in the chat and throw the banner on the screen. All right, let's cue this thing up and let's go. All right, I actually have the link in the description box, and this is, pardon me, let me scroll this up real quick. Yeah, this is Trump at the, hold on, yeah. So this was in October. It was the month before he won the election. Former U.S. President and Republican presidential nominee Donald J. Trump discusses his economic policies on immigration and the 2024 U.S. presidential election with Bloomberg News editor-in-chief John Micklethwait speaks to Trump at the Economic Club in Chicago. And when we listen to a lot of this interview, it's going to be crazy because you're like, man, things are happening exactly the way he said in this. It's It's an interview / debate where he's actually debating the efficacy of his tariff policy. And it's important to note that the audience are business people, economics, financial professionals, what have you. And you can see very early on with his arguments that he is swaying the audience. So when you hear that applause, that's not from a layman audience. And that's around the time I started realizing, yeah, Trump knows what he's talking about with this tariff stuff. So let's go.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you, the Economic Club of Chicago. Thank you, David, particularly. I want to say two things at the beginning. The first is just for the record and for those people watching on television, the Economic Club of Chicago and Bloomberg both invited Vice President Harris to a similar interview about her economic plans that she has declined so far. And second, just to set some parameters.
Oh, we got trolls in here early, huh? What's this, soup bone? Y'all still backing your PDF files presidents, really? I see you don't never show up on Sunday when we actually take heads. We would have dropped you the link and dismantled you. You come on the off night, huh? You're always welcome. No one ever shows up, though. Hold that L, chump.
About this interview, which I was just discussing with President Trump. We're going to focus on business and the economy. And that's partly because this is a business audience, but it's also because voters insist that the economy is the main issue that matters when they vote. So on that note, let me invite onto the stage President Trump.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Have a seat.
I like that crowd. That's a nice group of people. Thank you very much.
Standing ovation.
Thank you.
President Trump, thank you for doing this, as we said, and you had the reception there. The business people of Chicago, like everywhere else, they like a lot of the things you want to do in terms of tax cuts and some of the spending proposals. But like many business people, what they're often worried about is the cost.
Mm-hmm.
And the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, which is a bipartisan outfit, put out some predictions the other day. If you add up all the promises you've made, and your plans would add $7.5 trillion to the debt.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than twice the total for Vice President Harris. You're on course to push up debt up to 150% of GDP. This is a very business-like audience.
Yeah.
Why should they trust you with that?
Because we're about growth. She's got no growth whatsoever, and we're all about growth. We're going to bring companies back to our country. You look at even today, as I was driving over, I see these empty, old, beautiful, like steel mills and factories that are empty and falling down. Some have been converted to senior citizens' homes, but that's not going to do the trick. And we're going to bring the companies back. We're going to lower taxes still further for companies that are going to make their product in the USA. We're going to protect those companies with strong tariffs, because I'm a believer in tariffs. I'm not sure that you are. I don't think you are, but I congratulate you on your career. But to me, the most beautiful word in the dictionary is tariff. And it's my favorite word. It needs a public relations firm to help it, but to me, it's the most beautiful word in the dictionary.
Tariffs, do you think that will bring in the revenues? To use another bipartisan group,
Yeah.
Peterson Institute, they say they only bring in $200 billion. That is that's barely the cost of two of your promises.
Yeah, but that's like for what company are you talking about? Okay, look, I've brought in with tariffs, and I was just getting started. Then COVID came, and we had because I tell you what, I did a very good job in COVID. Nobody knew what the hell it was. I call it the China virus because I like being a little more accurate. But when that came, but we got hundreds of billions of dollars just from China alone, and I hadn't even started yet. But tariffs are two things if you look at it. Number one is for protection of the companies that we have here and the new companies that will move in, because we're going to have thousands of companies coming into this country. We're going to grow it like it's never grown before. and we're going to protect them when they come in because we're not going to have somebody undercut them. And I could give you an example of this if you want. Would you like me to? Because it just
Give me a quick example, and I will come back.
I just found out about it. So I've been talking about for the last year about Detroit and how horribly it has been. You know, it's just horrible because we've been talking about Detroit's coming back for 40 years and it's never come back. And it's very dependent on the car industry. Well, they've lost 60% of the business over a long period of time. And what happened is I found out a friend of mine builds auto plants. That's all he does. He builds auto plants. That's what he's good at. He doesn't want to build an apartment. All he wants to build is, and he builds the biggest in the world. And for the last year and a half, if anybody's heard me speak, I was talking about Mexico as a tremendous challenge for us right now. Tremendous. China is building massive auto plants in Mexico. And they're going to build them, and they're going to take those cars and sell them into the United States. They're very near the border, and they're going to have all the advantages and none of the disadvantages. And that's going to be the end of Michigan. It's going to be the end of, frankly, South Carolina. Going to be the end of everything. So I've been talking about this, and I said to him about 9 months ago, I said, you know what? I want you to do me a favor, John. His name is John. I don't want to give his last name because he might not like it. But I said, I want to see an auto plant. I want to go and see one of these. You know, you press a button and everything works, right? I want to see one of the big ones. He said, all right, good. I said, where do we go? I'd like to go to Michigan. I'd like to go to someplace in the United States. He said, no, we can't do that. Why? We're not building anything big in the United States. That's not where we don't build the big ones here. I said, where are you building the biggest ones? He said, in Mexico. We're building giant plants, the biggest plants anywhere in the world. In Mexico, I said. So you mean they're going to make cars cheaply? They have advantages over labor and other things, and they're going to sell them into the United States, and they're going to put Michigan out of business. Is that what? I don't know anything about that. All I do is build the plants. If you want to see a plant, we'll go to Mexico. I'll show you the biggest plant in the world. That was 9 months ago. I saw him, and I talked about it all the time because I think it's a serious threat to our country, because not only autos, but other things. So then I see him. 2 days ago, I was talking at another club, very nice club, and like this, except, I don't know, I think you people are probably even wealthier, okay? This was in Detroit, okay, which was appropriate. And I was showing them all sorts of charts about how their car, you know, it's just gone down, it's like terrible. And I saw him, and I said, oh, how are you doing? How have you been? I said, could I ask you, how are those plants that you mentioned, those giant plants that you're building in Mexico, how is that coming along? Have you finished them? No, sir. They abandoned the project when they heard you're running. They abandoned the project when they saw that you were winning and doing well. I said, wow.
All the same.
Because I told them, and I said it publicly, they're not going to sell one car into the United States. I said, if I run this country, if I'm going to be president of this country, I'm going to put a 100, 200, 2,000% tariff. They're not going to sell one car into the United States because we're not going to destroy our country. Because I know you're an anti-tariff guy, but I'm the exact opposite. If I had, there was no other way I could have stopped them other than, what am I going to do? Negotiate with Mexico or China? You're not going to get anything from that. I said, I'm going to put a 100, 200, or 300. I'm going to put the highest tariff in history, meaning I'm going to stop them from ever selling a car into the United States. So I just see the guy by accident. I see him. He says, sir, they've abandoned it. And by the way, they built foundations. They were really rocking. They were going to do it. They thought that I was going to win, or maybe they're just holding off. I tell you this, if I don't win, those factories are going to wipe out this country. They're the biggest factories ever built for cars. They're going to wipe out our country. If she wins, and she doesn't know what the hell she's doing. If she wins, she's not going to be thinking about, I couldn't, every speech I made having to do with cars, but every speech I made having to do with tariffs, I'd mentioned that our country is being threatened by Mexico. Now, all of those things, beyond even the car companies, all of those things are now dead. They're dead. I asked him, will they start? Probably not. They're dead as a doornail. If she gets in, it'll start up again.
President Trump, I let you give your example.
No,
you talked a lot about tariffs. You look at the American economy, 40 million jobs rely on trade. It counts for 27% of GDP.
Okay.
If you cut that off, that's also going to have an effect on many, many business people here.
Yeah.
tariffs also have another side. Isn't that something that you have to acknowledge?
No.
You could be plunging America into the biggest trade war since Smoot Hawley.
But there are no tariffs.
All right, that part's good because that talking point right there, and mind you, he's a respected economist. That is the prevailing sentiment that you hear all through mainstream media. And he's not necessarily wrong. What everyone is leaving out is that Trump used the tariffs as a negotiating linchpin and as a BATNA. And he tells you right here, he'll keep saying, he said, man, I'll raise the tariffs up to 2,000%. You know what I mean? Just to get him to, and you see him, that's what he's doing now. And you see it's working. But I'm saying this is October, right before he got elected. So it's gaslighting by the mainstream media, them acting like he doesn't know what he's doing or they don't know what he's doing when he's been saying this for previous years. And this happened a month right before he got elected. So let's get his response to this question from the economist.
You're going to stop. You're going to
Hang on, all you have to do is build your plant and.
Oh, go ahead. It's all yours.
Before you go into that, I think it's a brilliant move on the part of Trump to use the tariffs as a kind of cudgel on everybody else in the international sphere, Europe in particular, and then also with regard to China. I thought that was a brilliant move. And Trump rightly pointed out that tariffs have been used in the past successfully. So I don't see what the problem is with him using that tool, even as a weapon, if need be, to get everybody else in line. That was a brilliant move on his part.
No, I was about to say, Saul, you want a piece of that?
Yeah, and much to Obsidian's point, this makes me feel like obviously with Europe and their wine, their tea, their croissants and stuff like that, those cities wouldn't be, I mean, not cities, but cities and countries. I mean, if you're thinking of, when people think of Europe, they think of obviously London, Paris, Vienna, places like that, where they're able to, really live in a level of relative luxury and relative peace because of all the military spending that we have over there. Even Japan, right, of the 1980s, and its prosperity was because of the United States. So at this point, it's like, hey, I mean, you all kind of need to, pay up. And doing so is, a good bargaining tool and a good negotiation tactic. Which, while we're here, and I could quickly, jab at Obsidian with a question. Do you think that learning negotiation skills is a tool that every young man should learn to enhance their business acumen?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I just got finished talking about this on the air over on Rumble. Now, let me set it up. I was talking with regard to relationships and whatnot, and Black love has been transactional for a very long time, at least the mid 80s. At least that long, documented. And the Black manosphere, has kind of pushed back, not on the transactional nature of it per se, but the fact that a lot of brothers in the romantic and sexual marketplace have been fleeced, basically. They're being fleeced by Black women. This is the reason why the whole issue with the passport bros has been so charged, because brothers can get a better deal, cheaper, better. And a lot of Black women are very upset about that. I think it's very important for Black men to learn how to negotiate. And one of the reasons why is because of this transactional Black love piece. Black women want Black men to pay top dollar and get, cankles. I mean, we got to call it for what it is. Cankles, dimpled knees, and fat around the knees, fat backs, okay, double chins, and flats. That a Black woman just showing up is good, is supposed to be sufficient, like they're doing you a favor. No, I think black men need to be really good, savvy negotiators and consumers in the mating market, so we can start right there, and then you can just map that over to the financial realm. A lot of black men aren't good negotiators because we've been taught in the community to accept whatever black women dole out.
I see. Okay. So I guess from a massive standpoint, Passport Bros was the BATNA, the best alternative to a negotiated agreement, which would in this case, quote unquote, be the social contract. You know, whereas brothers are like, okay, no femininity, no
You don't get any
nourishment or
beauty.
nurturing.
No, right. You don't get any beauty. You don't get any femininity. You don't get any nurturing. I mean,
And in some
without
cases,
those
not
things, the
even
sex is going to
not
be
even
gone. So yeah, right, yeah,
and in some cases, not even access to the bedroom, right?
right,
And
right,
so obviously,
exactly.
Passport Bros was the leveraging tool in this case.
Yes, yes,
Okay. And
very
would you
much
say,
so.
and so would you say Trump, even as a wrecking ball, could even be seen as a negotiation tool?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely,
hey, it's going to
absolutely.
be political upheaval. I mean, because he's the big bad villain, which he's not to me. I find myself personally more in tune with his policies or whatnot. But would you say even him on a massive or voting scale was catered to that sort of negotiation?
Right, exactly. And I think it was a brilliant move. I think the tariffs. We watched last week. You weren't here, but me and McKeesmo, we watched Victor David Hanson, who we're both a big fan of, break down the actual numbers from the tariffs. He was pulling. He made more money from the tariffs, as he says in this tape right here. So I thought it was a brilliant move on his part. And to your question again, do I think black men need to learn negotiating? Absolutely. If for no other reason than to manage their intimate and relational lives with black women. Absolutely. If it's going to be transactional now, then we're going to do straight business and call it a day.
All right. Thank you for that insight.
Yeah.
All right, well played, gentlemen. We got a ball game. Well played indeed. Hold on. You guys get one of these.
The United States, and you don't have any tariffs.
People,
This
a
is
lot
what
of
I
places like this, there are a lot of jobs that rely on foreigners coming in. You're going to basically stop trade with China. You're talking about 60% trade on that, 60% tariffs on that. You're talking, as you said, 100, 200% on things you don't really like. You're also talking about 10, 20% tariffs on the rest of the world. That is going to have a serious effect on the overall economy. And yes, you're going to find some people who will gain from individual tariffs. The overall effect could be massive in terms of the economy.
I agree. It's going to have a massive effect, positive effect. It's going to be a positive, not a negative.
Well,
let me just tell you. I know
example.
how committed you are to this, and it must be hard for you to, spend 25 years talking about tariffs as being negative, and then have somebody explain to you that you're totally wrong.
Bingo. I called it at this part when I first watched it. I was like, Trump is a savage. Because you got to realize the audience that he's in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not
And this guy,
room.
yeah, and this guy who's that he's with, this guy's no slouch. He's a world-class economist. And Trump says, yeah, I know. It's got to be difficult for you. You spent the last 25 years, and here I am telling you that you've been wrong the whole time. And that's why I'm telling. That's why this is so bugged, because everything he said in this room, it's been the first 200 days he's executed on, and he's been proven to be right.
Yeah. As Victor Davis Hanson says, it's been barely 200 days. He's already killed it.
Yeah. All right. Let's listen to his response. I just had to stop at the quip because he was savage with this the whole time.
Mm-hmm. And the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, which is a bipartisan outfit, put out some predictions the other day. If you add up all the promises you've made, and your plans would add $7.5 trillion to the debt.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than twice the total for Vice President Harris, you're on course to push up debt up to 150% of GDP. This is a very business-like audience.
Yeah.
Why should they trust you with that?
Because we're about growth. She's got no growth whatsoever, and we're all about growth. We're going to bring companies back to our country. You look at even today, as I was driving over, I see these empty, old, beautiful, like steel mills and factories that are empty and falling down. Some have been converted to senior citizens' homes, but that's not going to do the trick. And we're going to bring the companies back. We're going to lower taxes still further for companies that are going to make their product in the USA. We're going to protect those companies with strong tariffs, because I'm a believer in tariffs. I'm not sure that you are. I don't think you are, but I congratulate you on your career. But to me, the most beautiful word in the dictionary is tariff. And it's my favorite word. It needs a public relations firm to help it, but to me, it's the most beautiful word in the dictionary.
Tariffs, do you think that will bring in the revenues? To use another bipartisan group,
Yeah.
Peterson Institute, they say they only bring in $200 billion. That is that's barely the cost of 2 of your promises.
Yeah, but that's like, for what company are you talking about, okay? Look, I've brought in with tariffs, and I was just getting started. Then COVID came, and we had because I tell you what, I did a very good job in COVID. Nobody knew what the hell it was. I call it the China virus because I like being a little more accurate. But when that came, but we got hundreds of billions of dollars just from China alone, and I hadn't even started yet. But tariffs are two things, if you look at it. Number one is for protection of the companies that we have here and the new companies that will move in, because we're going to have thousands of companies coming into this country. We're going to grow it like it's never grown before. And we're going to protect them when they come in, because we're not going to have somebody undercut them. And I could give you an example of this if you want. Would you like me to? Because it just
Give me a quick example, then I will come back.
I just found out about it. So I've been talking about for the last year about Detroit and how horribly it has been. It's just horrible, because we've been talking about Detroit's coming back for 40 years and it's never come back. And it's very dependent on the car industry. Well, they've lost 60% of the business over a long period of time. And what happened is I found out a friend of mine builds auto plants. That's all he does. He builds auto plants. That's what he's good at. He doesn't want to build an apartment. All he wants to build is, and he builds the biggest in the world. And for the last year and a half, if anybody's heard me speak, I was talking about Mexico as a tremendous challenge for us right now. Tremendous. China is building massive auto plants in Mexico. And they're going to build them, and they're going to take those cars and sell them into the United States. They're very near the border, and they're going to have all the advantages and none of the disadvantages. And that's going to be the end of Michigan. It's going to be the end of, frankly, South Carolina. Going to be the end of everything. So I've been talking about this, and I said to him about 9 months ago, I said, you know what? I want you to do me a favor, John. His name is John. I don't want to give his last name because he might not like it. But I said, I want to see an auto plant. I want to go and see one of these. You press a button and everything works, right? I want to see one of the big ones. He said, all right, good. I said, where do we go? I'd like to go to Michigan. I'd like to go to someplace in the United States. He said, no, we can't do that. Why? We're not building anything big in the United States. That's not where we don't build the big ones here. I said, where are you building the biggest ones? He said, in Mexico. We're building giant plants, the biggest plants anywhere in the world. In Mexico, I said, so you mean they're going to make cars cheaply? They have advantages over labor and other things, and they're going to sell them into the United States, and they're going to put Michigan out of business. Is that what? I don't know anything about that. All I do is build the plants. If you want to see a plant, we'll go to Mexico. I'll show you the biggest plant in the world. That was 9 months ago. I saw him, and I talked about it all the time because I think it's a serious threat to our country, because not only autos, but other things. So then I see him. 2 days ago, I was talking at another club, very nice club, and like this, except, I don't know, I think you people are probably even wealthier, okay? This was in Detroit, okay, which was appropriate. And I was showing them all sorts of charts about how their car, it's just gone down. It's like terrible. And I saw him, and I said, oh, how are you doing? How have you been? I said, could I ask you, how are those plants that you mentioned, those giant plants that you're building in Mexico, how is that coming along? Have you finished them? No, sir. They abandoned the project when they heard you're running. They abandoned the project when they saw that you were winning. and doing well. I said, well.
All right, hold on. Let me do a time check with you, Obsidian. Don't you gotta get up out of here?
Yeah, in a minute. Yeah, I'm about to turn in. Yeah, but I can hang for a few more minutes.
Well, whatchamacallit? The Billionaires Boys Club. Yo, what up, Theo? Theo says, welcome back to YouTube, Obsidian.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. What's going on, my brother, my conclave brother Theo in the building? Theo, I want you to get some sleep, man. I want you to get some sleep. You need some rest.
Well, why don't we just pause here then?
Now, do you guys come on the air tomorrow night too, or just Thursdays?
I stream 7 days a week.
If you guys are available tomorrow night, say I'll come on early on Rumble. Come over here at 10 o'clock. We can roll to midnight.
That's I mean, I'm good with it. It's up to Saul.
That sounds like a plan to me.
Saul, is that good for you?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll pick the bookmark that. We'll pick it up tomorrow, 10 o'clock. I'll go live over on Rumble at 9. Knock that out. Come over here at 10, and we'll roll till midnight.
All right, that's the plan.
Very good. Thank you very much, brothers. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for accommodating the schedule. Thank you so much for your support, Saul. I really appreciate it. Thank everybody for tuning in. To be continued tomorrow night, 10 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Obsidian.
Appreciate it. Peace.
All right, cool. All right, well, I'll check in with you on the back end. Obsidian after this, and then we'll try and schedule something for tomorrow. Let's see what the chat's talking about. Peace, oh man, solid. All right, Storm, you want to do news desk? All right, we'll do news desk. I'll shut this down and we'll fire up a news desk episode then. It's news desk time. Let's go. All right, thanks for coming by, Obsidian.
Appreciate it, man. Well, I'm looking forward to coming back tomorrow at 10.
All right, cool. And we'll jump through some more of this interview, get it out the way, and we'll be in good shape. All right, gentlemen. Saul, you got a closing statement for the chat and the replay game? I'm gonna fire up another stream and just do the news with these guys.
I know kind of winding down on this, but I like to leave the audience with a little something. Something to think about.
Take your time. We're only 45 minutes in.
How many politicians since Clinton has promised that Detroit will be back? Right?
All of them.
All of them, right? This ingenuity and genius, him actually being innovative, is really, really intelligent as far as, thinking outside the box, because yes, oh boy is very much a economic theorist. What's the host name again?
Michael something European last name.
Okay, a lot of them are trained in that sort of free trade global economic. So whenever there's tariffs that comes up, tariffs is almost like a bad word to them because they think like it's protectionism, right? And it's going to set off the world to a quote unquote economic arms race.
Saul? Damn it. I think his device disconnected. He was just warming up too. Yeah, his audio just crashed because his device is still connected. Hold on, let me.
Okay, do you hear me?
Bang, there you go. We can hear you.
Okay, so in a nutshell, hello?
No, you're good. I can hear you.
Okay, in a nutshell, say that globalism is a new reigning sort of order when it comes to economics. So tariffs is automatically deemed as bad, but he's used tariffs as a sort of linchpin for negotiations for a better output when it comes to U.S. in general. So really intelligent power of negotiation. I guess I'll pick up on that point more tomorrow, but I just at least wanted people to know what. Oh, Machismo?
Okay, I can hear you now. Yeah, your audio's crashing.
Man, here we go. Okay. All right, let's just wind it down.
All right, guys. We're at the 48-minute mark. I'll tie this stream up, and I'm gonna come right back on in like 10 minutes. I'm gonna set up. We'll just do the news. It's Thursday. I fired it up. It looks like. Hold on. All right, No News just sent me a whole. Just sent me a whole rundown. All right, cool. I got some stuff. Oh yeah, what's up with all the troll action? Y'all seen that? It's because we got Obsidian over here. The troll army is activated, and I've seen a couple different names up in the joint. But like I said, they showing up on off-brand nights. Y'all, everybody knows Sunday we eat all beef, we cook all beef. Voltron be assembled on Sunday. We can have at it. Fuck out of here. I seen Sin G bots, right? I seen Quiet Storm sniping from a distance. Yeah, then all the trolls came back with different accounts. Storm, you sent me an AI clip. All right, cool. Yeah, it's beef with the but like I said though, everybody know Sunday. If you want to, you can come by and air your grievances. We take all comers. Chewbacca wants his trolls. He's hangry. Oh man, y'all dudes is funny. All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap this one up. We looks like we'll be back tomorrow with Obsidian, and what do you call it? Yeah, I'm gonna come back on in about 10 minutes. I'm gonna fire up a news stream. We sit here and do the news. We got a lot of stories, and everybody flood me. So Theo, if you try and get some sleep, if you're not going to get some sleep, you can have us on the TV while you lay down and relax and listen to us do the goddamn news. You know what I'm saying? All right, bet. Saul, any, what he said, the troll, he's switching between accounts to see if he can talk in the chat. But his soul, you'll sleep when you're dead. All right, but quite possibly, but we don't want to make that an eventuality. We are doing a lot of recruiting for the conclave in the fall. You know what I mean? So it's all yours, man. You can take it, rock out as long as you want. We'll close up shop.
Oh well, I was just gonna ask whether or not you were gonna. Hear me?
Nah, you keep cutting in and out.
You hear me now?
I can hear you now. You sound great.
I said whether or not you're going to do any coverage on that transformer.
With the joint you sent me? I mean, yeah. We could. Yeah, let's hold on. Let me pull it up. If it's an article, we can start out the top of the joint with that. Let me see. It's an article, right? Yeah, I'll just read it on the air.
Oh, okay.
Because that's a good one. Oh no, it's Fox. So it's probably slash article, and it might have an embedded video. If the embedded video is good, I'll play the embedded video, and we'll read it. We could start the top of the show off with that. That's the one I told you. Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, okay. Well, you know why I gotta wind down because that whole 8 o'clock tomorrow.
Oh hell yeah! Nah, everybody's in the chat. Instead of me turning on some of the pre-records, everybody done got used to the third shift with us hanging up. All right, everybody come back in like 10 minutes. I'm just gonna fire up a news stream, pull up some stuff, and we go through some stuff. I'll check my WhatsApp. What you would call it? Saul sent me a bunch of shit. So yeah, we just rock through them. We put another hour and a half, or when everybody gets tired to crash out. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow's Friday. It ain't about nothing. Cool.
Y'all tomorrow.
All right, yes sir. All right, see you tomorrow, Saul. All right, guys, we gonna shut down. Let me play some nice outro music for y'all, and that's a wrap. Theo, yeah, if you're gonna stay up, come hang out with us in the chat. And I emailed you the other day. Hold on, I'll just shoot you another email. I was checking up on you and everything. Know what I mean? He said, grab your coffee and bagel. That nigga stupid. He said, but bring a couple. All right, yeah, man. Let's just hang out in the chat. I see everybody up. It ain't nothing but a thing. And then we got news for days, man. We got news. So hold this for a second.
Every man walking this planet who's having a baby should have a DNA test. I don't give a damn if you're married. I don't give a damn how mad your wife gonna be for asking her. It's not about her. It's about your own protection. If you're dealing with a woman who's opposed to it, that already lets you know the caliber of woman that you're dealing with. I have a son. You goddamn right I got a DNA test on mine, and we were married. Was she upset? Yes. Did she get over it? Yes. Would I ever get over the thought of me raising another man's son? No. Fuck that. I'll be damned. Oh man, I'm thinking this kid's not mine, but if I ask her for a DNA test, man, I think she gonna be mad. Man the fuck up. Every man should have a DNA test for every single child that he has. Every man walking this planet.
Sorry.
Hey, where's Stewie?
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter.
There it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean, to play us out? To end the show?
Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today, and we'll leave you with I can't do it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Stewie Griffin. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.